On the very first episode of Mighty Car Mods, I was using a Ryobi drill. That was about 1 billion views ago.
And since then, Ryobi have come on board as official sponsors of our show and this channel, and we've been using their tools for years.
Recently, they got in touch and said, we want to get behind a build and support it. Have you got any ideas?
And I was like, oh, I have an idea. I want to buy the cheapest manual Ford Falcon V8 in the country and then make it do some hectic skids. So I've got my app open for buying cars. I've put in Ford Falcon. I've ticked the box for manual, which is an absolute must. And now I'm going down here to cylinders and I'm clicking 8 cylinders. I'm going to go done. Now I'm about to hit the search button. This is automotive roulette. I've got the whole of Australia on here. It's telling me there's 60 cars. We're going to search by cheapest.
Of course.
And then whatever the first one is, we're going to go buy it.
Okay.
Which means we might be going to the airport.
Okay.
We could be going down the road.
Press the thing.
All right, here we go, Martin.
Enough
This
suspense.
is what we are buying. All right, we've got an
ad
ad.
for a shoe.
We've got some ads for shoes. And then, there it is, Martin.
Oh, wow.
That's us.
Why is it like half the price of everything else?
We're going to find out. It's in New South Wales.
That's good.
The next one after that is in South Australia, which is $5,000 more. Next one after that is in
$6,000
Queensland.
more.
So, the cheapest one is in New South Wales. Let me read you the description.
There'll definitely be nothing wrong with it, of course.
Here's what it says. I'm looking to swap it for a camp trailer or a boat or a jet ski.
You can't have my boat.
But he also says cash can go both ways.
Sure.
So Martin, let's go, and we are going to New South Wales. Does it tell you where this actually is?
Botany.
We jumped in our Amarok for a drive across Sydney, and whatever we find when we get there, we are going to buy it. Most of these cars are around 25 grand and up from there.
Yes.
Why is this one 12?
There'll be a reason.
No, but
There will be a reason.
No,
You either find this out before you buy it, if you're smart,
yeah.
or usually what happens to you and me is we find out after we buy it.
Well, I was thinking we just turn up and just buy it.
No, you've got to haggle, dude.
But it's pre-haggled from the factory. It's half price, dude. It's 25 plus is the price. This is 12.
Yeah,
How good's that?
you love it.
Yeah.
So you would rather buy a cheap one,
Yes.
so you can say
Not
it's
just
cheap.
yes.
So the motor could be like basically flogged and cost
Who
12 grand to
cares?
fix.
Who cares? It's all about what you pay when you buy it. Like that's the only, no, because that's the number you remember. How much have you spent on your RX-7? I don't know.
Oh,
How
God.
much was it? 40 grand?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
How much did you spend on your Volkswagen Up?
What up? This is our first Ford V8.
It's our first Ford V8,
Yeah.
and it's like the not LS.
Yes.
You know, everyone has LSs in all their V8s. Not
LS
us.
and Barra is all anyone talks about.
Not us.
Not us.
Nah.
Just not on the world's best Ford channel.
Best V8 channel.
We are the world's best Ford wheel driving channel.
Oh God.
Eventually we arrived at an underground supermarket car park just up from a notorious Sydney jail, so it was looking good. And it appears that so far this is not a scam, because there's an actual car in front of our eyeballs. After a quick check of the fluids, we decided to plug in a scan tool to see if there was anything nasty recorded. And with that shockingly all clear, we turned the key.
Already got exhaust.
Our test drive lasted approximately 15 seconds and consisted of driving around the car park. And with that done, the seller asked for an amount that was higher than his listed price. We asked him why. He said he couldn't remember what he listed it for. We showed him, he agreed to that, and we bought it for asking price. So we have just picked up the cheapest XR8 manual in the country, $12,000. We're going to take it back to the garage and then have a bit of a closer look of exactly what we bought, because we've only spent a couple of minutes looking here. We drove it around the car park at 10 or 15 k's an hour.
Is it the cheapest for a reason? I guess we'll find out soon enough, but it sounds pretty good.
It does sound good.
I'm into it.
It sounds way better than an LS.
Oh, you can't say that.
No, it does.
It absolutely
It does.
It does, because the cam's in the right spot.
I don't think they really had an idea of like how much the car was worth. They only listed it yesterday, and when we just spoke to the guy, he said his phone was blowing up. I brought with me the Ryobi USB lithium high pressure inflation kit. This here is small enough to keep in your car, plus it is chargeable via USB-C like that, which is awesome. Now, obviously you can use this for sporting equipment and stuff like that, but it is also excellent for topping up car tires. And because we don't know exactly the condition of what we bought here, obviously we can check the fluids and things like that. But this here means that we can plug it in, set a pressure and make sure our tyre pressures are all good. So we're just going to take the valve cap off here. There's a little digital screen, so when I plug this in, it'll tell us what pressure is in there at the moment. So it is sitting at 28 PSI. You can also press this to change it to bar. Once you've got the pressure on screen, press and hold. That will turn it on. And basically we can just hold that down until you are at your desired tyre pressures. And then we're good to hit the road and head back home. Look how excited Martin is right now. Look at him. Look at the excitement. He's absolutely stoked. Martin, get in. Let's go.
V8 torque, mate.
So good.
It's addictive. Who
It's
needs
so good, Martin.
turbos?
It feels good.
Do you know my favourite thing about these big Aussie cars? Leg room. But they're comfortable, and there's room for people in the back. Like, you can comfortably seat 4 or 5 people in here, which is handy if you have a drift taxi. Who needs filthy turbos?
Turbos can go in the bin,
Absolutely.
can't they?
Yep.
Actually in the bin.
They knew in the 2000s, man. Just get a big V8.
Do you know how much I know about Ford Falcons, Martin? 0. Because I grew up driving a VL Commodore. For me, driving a Ford Falcon now is like going for the Parramatta Rabbitohs when you're actually into the South Sydney Eels. It's like you can't just swap teams like that, you know what I mean?
Aussie made quality. Like, look at this.
Feel the acceleration, Martin.
Are you flat? That's not flat.
It's flat.
That's not flat. Bullshit.
Dude, look at this. 3rd gear, foot to the floor. Like, it sounds good, but we gotta fix it, dude. Before we do any of that though, can we clean it properly?
Oh yeah.
Because everything inside is wet.
Slimy.
It's like he sprayed the whole inside of the car with tyre cleaner.
Someone's done the rego on it recently, and I noticed the plates are new.
Brand new plates.
Yeah.
So there's something going on.
There's something going on.
But we will uncover it.
Always is.
And no doubt there will be a Mighty Car Mods viewer out there somewhere that's like, hey, that's my old car. Was it your old car? If it was, we want to know.
Everything.
And give us a little bit of the history. The best thing about getting a car for cheap is that hopefully you've got some reserves left for fixing whatever it is that's inevitably wrong with it. But so far, it drives straight, it looks good, and it makes all the right noises. But inside and out, it smells absolutely terrible. So we spent less than 5 minutes inspecting this car before we handed over the money. So I don't know exactly what it is that we bought. So Martin, it's time to do a quick little walk around and see what we can find. Did you even check the boot?
The most notable thing, compared to where we bought it from a very dark garage, is that it's got some pretty epic sun damage in terms of the paint fade, but more so the interior and the seats that have kind of sat in the sun. Apparently this came out of Western Australia.
Yeah,
it's hot over there.
Saying.
It's very sunny over there. Lots of UV. UV and leather do not mix, especially if you don't treat it. So I think that's probably the most obvious thing. But for our purposes, that doesn't matter.
We got a free Ford badge, some free gum, which
Everything
is good.
is covered in
something. Legit, there's been some painting done in there, which is why there's masking tape.
Oh, look, BA Mark II Falcon, owner's manual, no boundaries.
40 cents.
What have I got?
I think that's kind of everything. What is this switch, Martin?
So I found some registration information from last year in Western Australia.
Maybe its first registration in New South Wales, Marty, was last year then.
Yeah, I reckon so. There you go.
See, it's shocking that works.
High tech, man. That was a long time ago.
Not a whole lot to really report on down here.
But a little bit of red dust, interestingly. That's a very Western Australia thing as well. It's definitely been an outside car.
Yeah.
No doubt. But it's an XR8, man. Look at that. I can't believe we're an XR8.
Did you notice driving home, Martin, it smelled like transmission fluid?
Yes.
And also, it smells like coolant.
It's pushing coolant from somewhere, because when we first started, that was below minimum, and now that is like fully to the top.
Yeah, okay.
So there's something going on with that.
Well, I would love to know if this was your car. Do you recognise it? Please get in touch. We'd love to know. But for now, Martin, we got a whole bunch of Ryobi tools that have arrived and cleaning devices. So we're going to give this thing the attention it deserves. It's probably hard to tell at home, but this car absolutely stinks, and the whole of the interior is covered in a kind of thin layer of oily filth. I have no idea what it is. So the next thing we're going to do is give it a proper clean inside and out, starting on the inside. Now, I've gone through our cupboards over here, and I've pretty much got out all of the Ryobi stuff that I think we could probably need. Most importantly for the inside is going to be our power scrubber, and they also make these different heads for it now, a soft bristle brush and a medium brush. Plus, we've got the wet vac, which will help get some of that stink out of the carpet. Then for the outside, we've got our polisher, we've got our power washer, and then a leaf blower, because we like to blow all of the water out of it. It's kind of just makes things way easier when you're detailing. And they've also sent us this, which is a detail polisher, which is a really small one, and on the back it looks like they're cleaning some headlights with it. Of course, all of this stuff is compatible with the same battery, so you can plug that into that one, you can plug it into this one, you can plug it into that one. It's all hot swappable, which makes it really, really easy. So, first up, let's get into the inside and give it a good clean.
Reflections of smoke and fire. Push me harder.
The car's actually cleaned up really, really well, and it's looking great, but I got to be honest, I don't know anything about it because it's a Ford V8, so I brought down someone who does. This is Dougie. How you doing, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Thank you very much for coming down. He works at Castle Hill Performance. He's a mechanic. He's been there for 10 years. They specialise in LSs, but they also do Fords. He also has one of these cars.
I do.
What did I buy exactly?
It's a first-gen V8 Falcon. Still got T5. It's not a 6-speed. It's a good start. It's for what you're after. Still plenty of aftermarket mods you can do. Lock kits. You know, you've got an IRS in the back, so you can do everything in the rear on this.
Are these better than an LS? Be honest.
Oh, look, no. They're not. I'll always say Ford has a better 6, Holden have the better 8.
Okay.
There is now arguments with the Coyote, with the 5-litre. They are a great V8. These things, they're not bad, they're just a V8 shoehorned into this thing.
Now this engine though, the Boss 260 is from a Mustang, right?
Correct. It's a modular, they're classified as a modular motor. They came out in the Mustang in the US.
Yeah.
And they're literally shoehorned into the Falcon where they've had to modify the back of the head to fit.
Okay.
So they are just a big engine.
When we did our Beamer, we had our LS in there, and to cam it, you've just got one big doodle and just in it goes.
Yep.
This here though, 4 small doodles, is that right?
4 small doodles, yep, 2 on each side.
Yep.
A little bit harder to do in terms of camming it, but again, you know, nothing a day's work won't finish.
Can you make good power with some headers?
Look, you can do a full exhaust. Hard to do. Take literally nearly a full day to do the headers.
Yep, okay.
Probably make 260 real kilowatts by the time it's all done.
Did you say real kilowatts?
Real kilowatts?
Oh, did you say rear or real?
Rear.
Oh, I thought you said real, because I was wondering how you get the fake kilowatts. But being this is not a Honda Civic, we'll never know. Now, in terms of tuning it,
yes.
So we can plug and play a Haltech, but we need like some kind of loom or something?
I believe there's a third party who do an attachment loom to go into an Elite 2500 that will plug straight into this. It's a bit harder to do flashes on these, like we're using PCM Tech being an older model car. So it's just easier to go down the Haltech route.
What is this intake thing? Because I've never seen one of these before. I looked at it and I went, that doesn't look stock.
So this big cylinder thing here, that's actually your factory air intake.
Is it?
This is an add-on, and they've screwed into it. So they've probably cut a big hole inside or beside the big airbox, I should say. So that is your standard airbox.
Oh, and this is just like a
that's
cold
been
air
added,
intake.
yeah.
Is there a way of knowing whether this has any mods already? I mean, being that headers is such a big one, is there a way of actually knowing by... Because I know you can't see anything.
You can't see much.
It's so bloody big.
How about we get it on a hoist and have a look? I mean, we're seeing an aftermarket catback exhaust system, so at least you've got something. Now, standard headers and cats. So yes, it does have standard headers and cats. It's got a small oil leak, but you know, if it's leaking oil, it's got oil. Other than that, yeah, not much to say under here.
I'm just trying to find out, Dougie, why it is half the price of all of the others. Because it is half the price.
I don't know what to say, really. You just got yourself a good deal. It does have some chopped out diff bushes, but that's pretty normal for these.
Yeah.
In a sedan. So, but honestly, there's nothing really that's screaming that this car is so cheap. There is no reason for it to be as cheap as it was. But I'd just say you got a really good deal.
I mean, assuming the Ks are real, but 170,000, not a lot of Ks for
Looking
a car
at
its
it,
age.
it doesn't look that old. So yes, it does have a few leaks, but it's not a brand new car either.
And the interior, other than smelling like a public toilet, is actually in really good condition.
It is. The leather is in really great condition, and the seats aren't torn to pieces, which you normally see.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a really good car underneath. It's a good starting process for what you want. There's a lot of suspension stuff you can do to this car. In the back, front, everything. You get adjustable upper arms here, lower arms, everything like that. So front is where you'd probably start as anyway, a set of coilovers.
When all the mods are said and done,
yes,
and it's got a Haltech on it, and we throw it on the dyno, how much power do you reckon it'll make approximately?
With cams?
Yeah.
Oh, probably 280 or 270, 280-ish. On a
kilowatts at the wheels?
Kilowatts at the wheels, yeah, I reckon.
That's fast.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing. Yeah, they make decent power. Look, they do, and they sound great though. These things really do sound great, Cam. We did one not long ago, just with a set of drop-ins.
Yeah.
So it sounded great.
What else can you get for 12 grand that's going to be proper V8 that sounds like that with potentiality for that kind of power?
Not a lot these days. You'll find yourself a really clapped Commodore, but it's going to be auto. Nothing manual these days is hard to come by at that price range.
Yeah.
In a V8. But if you want it cammed, I can definitely help you out with that one.
Awesome. Sounds good.
No
Thanks,
worries.
man. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. You too.
So that is my new car, and I'm very, very excited to start working on it. I do want to give a massive shout out to Ryobi. They have been supporting our show for years and years, and we very much appreciate it, and we very much appreciate them getting behind this build. Now, next episode, I was going to be ripping my Falcon apart and replacing absolutely everything. But of course, Martin has also bought a new car. Now, I will give you one guess as to what car he's bought, because it is also an Australian icon, and it is the car that is synonymous with being a competitor to the Ford Falcon. It's made by a company that has 6 letters in the brand name. The model name of the car starts with C. I'll let you work it out. But anyway, Martin wants to challenge my car before I do some mods to mine and before I do some mods to his. So next episode, I'm going to be going head to head. So that is going to be a big one. Thank you very much for watching the show. Thank you very much to Ryobi for supporting this build, and we'll see you next time on Mighty Car Mods.